hiring manager, I reject 90% of the candidates who come to me from HR primarily because they have a bad work experience section and not because they don't have an ATS friendly CV or not because they don't have the keywords that I'm looking for in the CV, but because their work experience section is not targeted, it's not impactful, it's not achievement oriented, or is just too long and I can't even read the entire thing. And that's one of the biggest problems that candidates face and they don't even realize it. And they chase things like, fixing their CV, making it nicer, changing the template and stuff like that. But only if you change your work experience section exactly as the hiring manager wants, things just start to work out suddenly. And in this video, the intention is exactly that. The intention is to basically give you the hiring manager's perspective, to tell you what a technical hiring manager is looking for in your CV, and make sure that your work experience from that perspective is targeted, is impact oriented, and basically makes the hiring manager feel like, oh my God, that's the candidate that I want. Interview him as soon as possible. Now, most of the candidates aren't able to do that, and that's because they fall into one of these loops. So the problem starts with you not having an exact structure to your work experience. Now, that's a big problem because sometimes I've seen a lot of candidates, they use things like, in one bullet point, they're going to tell me the skill that they know. Second bullet point, they're going to tell me what they were doing in that organization. Third bullet point, they're going to give me an achievement. Now, that doesn't work, right? Because that's basically no structure and that's no coherence. And what having no coherence does is it makes your work experience too long. So you're going to be going into like one bullet, like 3 lines, and we don't want that because what that does is it makes it too long. And so the visual appeal on your CV reduces, because of which there is a major lack of readability on your CV. So no structure means you write super long work experiences, which means that the readability on your CV drops, which basically means that your work experience section becomes boring and you as a candidate aren't memorable and you get rejected. Now that is problem number 1, right? Having no structure, too long, reduces readability, boring, rejection. The second problem is this. Your work experience section is not results oriented, it's not achievement oriented, and it just tells me what you have done and not what you achieved. And that's another big problem that most candidates mess up with. So in this video, I'm going to kick things off and I'm going to tell you how to solve both of these problems with one single solution. So let's get started. All right. So what you see on your screen is a work experience bullet point that is written in an absolutely terrible way. It's actually from one of my clients who landed a very fancy executive assistant job in one of the big 4 consulting firms, and she wanted to switch from tech into consulting. And when she came to me, her work experience was literally all over the place. And so I'm going to use this work experience bullet point to show you how to not write a work experience bullet point. And if you're doing it this way, you need to absolutely change it. And I'm going to give you a structure which we will use to basically fix this work experience bullet point. We're going to use that example to tell you how to absolutely not fall into the 2 problems I've just told you about. So let's get started. What she writes is, helped ensure teams had the information they needed by talking to different stakeholders daily and keeping things moving along so that there weren't many problems, which helped reduce risks across the team. Great. Now that's kind of a run-on sentence. It is difficult to read. There is a major lack of achievement there, and basically it has all the problems I just told you about, right? So what is the structure that we are going to use to fix this exact work experience? So the structure is very simple. All I want you to do is simply follow this particular structure. So what you did plus how you did it, and then give me the result. Do all of this in not more than 2 lines maximum, and always try to use a number, always. You're most likely in the results part of things, and start off with a strong action verb, right? So you follow these 4 bullet points and you follow this structure to basically write a work experience bullet point that's super impactful and basically make sure that from a hiring manager perspective, you're doing the right job. So let's follow these 4 bullet points and try to rewrite this entire thing. Now, the what is basically the role and responsibility you had. The how is a critical skill, and the result is often a number. So let's use that and the other items we have here to write this bullet point all over again. So basically what I've done here is I went back to the CV that got her the fancy Big 4 job, and I literally copied the same work experience line, but the way we had rewritten it. So let's assess it against the 4 key points that I shared with you and the old work experience bullet point. So this is what she had written. These are the 4 points which will help you to write a good work experience section. So let's see how it compares. So skillfully manage internal information by leveraging expert stakeholder management skills with 25 plus diverse stakeholders, sentence breaks, resulting in a consistent information flow and a 90% risk mitigation. Now, this is the what, skillfully manage internal information, the responsibility. This is the how, stakeholder management skills, which is the critical skill. And this resulted in a 90% mitigation. Right. Now, this work experience bullet point not only follows a correct structure, it is compact and falling in just 2 lines. It uses not one, but numbers twice. So it uses two different numbers on different instances. It uses action verb skillfully and leveraging. All of these are quite nice action verbs, which help with the flow and help with the coherence. And that's exactly how you write your work. Now, at this point, I've given you exactly what you need to write that smashing work experience section. First, you need the proper structure. What, how, result. What is the responsibility? How is the skill? Result is the number. Second, you need to add a number in there, and most likely you'll add it in the result section. Third, I want you to not write it in more than 2 lines. So you need to adjust the what, how, result, all of it in just 2 lines. Make it happen. I've just shown you that's possible. Lastly, I want you to always use an action verb. Now, in the description, you will find my list of top 100 action verbs to start using it. You will also find my free custom GPT, which will help you write this work experience in a way that is super impactful. And so, if you can't write it by yourself in this structure, the custom GPT around work experience will absolutely be a very, very helpful resource. So, check the resources and captions. If you found this useful, please do subscribe to the channel. We're just starting out, and it's absolutely amazing to see that subscriber count increase by 1. So make me happy. Subscribe, leave your feedback in the comments, and I'll see you soon in the next one.